here, back with another anime podcast, but this time it's a little bit different. Welcome to the rebranded Nakama Lounge. Yes, the sauce pot is no more. We've switched over to the Nakama Lounge. We are going to be starting off fresh and new with a lot of new things to talk about and pretty much sometimes the same guests as well. And of course, in terms of same guests, we have brought back Stacy first and foremost. Say hello.
Yo, what's up?
And of course,
Hey, how's it going?
And along with that, you're also seeing our faces for the first time, the three of us. So we're glad to be here for you guys. And you guys can see me moving around my hands a lot more in these podcasts because I'm very animated like that. But with one change to the Nakama Lounge, we are also bringing on a lot more guests. And today we have probably our biggest guest that we've ever had, saying that we've only had Minato. And, I would count this guest to be a little bit bigger than Minato. So,
dude, you're gonna come on. My boy Mina's home.
Just a little bit bigger. I said I gave him the credit he deserves. But here we have Truth, of course. The Truth DT. Say hello, mate.
Ohio gamers, man. Poor Mina's home, man. Gil, you just crushed him, dude.
Am I wrong? I mean, you're just a little bit bigger, just a teeny tiny bit, not that much though. But of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this podcast, we will be putting this podcast up on our other, social platforms such as Spotify and such, where you can listen to it on the go. And of course, this will be premiering on YouTube week in, week out. Now, to begin this podcast off with a decent start, I would say, Truth, I want to ask you your top 5 anime. We'll chuck you into the deep end right here. First and foremost, what is your top 5 anime right now?
Top 5 anime?
Jeez, that's a hard question, Gail.
I mean, just it's not something I really. I would say like I put all Dragon Ball into one, right? So like GT, Super, It's all one spot for me.
Yep.
I'd probably say like Naruto is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Yu Yu Hakusho in there. I really do like Demon Slayer.
Yes, sir. My goat.
And then I don't beyond like those 4. I don't know. Like JoJo is really good. I really like G Gundam, one of the OG Gundam shows. But a 5th is tough.
Yeah.
To me, like Dragon Ball and Naruto are just like way above everything else for me.
Mm-hmm. And don't worry, we'll come on to those later on in the show. Don't worry. But yeah, no, I've always thought that, whenever you make... I was going to ask you for your best of all time, but you would have probably said Dragon Ball, right? That's why I did the top 5, just to kind of get that number 5 spot in and see what you would put in there, maybe, But yeah, I would agree with you on that list in terms of like, it's some of the OGs, very iconic shows, and they're all very, very good. Stacey, what do you think about Truth's list there?
I mean, I respect it. I don't have a problem with any of those animes he listed off. Nothing super shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Most people wouldn't have Naruto or Dragon Ball or Demon Slayer in their top 5. But like, I respect it. I have no problem with any of those animes, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Now,
I'm a normie. I'm an anime normie. That's what I am.
I mean, that's not a problem, I feel. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, getting more people into the community is better than not having anybody at all, right? Like, that's one thing I hate abhorrently in the community is this sort of elitism that goes on, right? That's one of the things that should just not be there. Like, if you're watching just the normal stuff, that's fine. Nobody should come after you for that, in my opinion, at least, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. So the question I was actually going to ask you first, but I wanted to start off a little bit hard. But the question I wanted to ask you first was, how did you get into anime? Because, I think majority of us usually just tend to go, oh yeah, I started off with like, one of the gateway anime like Dragon Ball or Pokemon, and, we think those are cartoons initially, but then obviously we learned that they're a different form of media and stuff. So how did you start into anime, and how did you get deeper and deeper into other, anime and whatnot? Truth?
Me?
Yes, you, Truth.
So I don't know. This might have been like 1996 or 7 or something like that. I remember I was watching Cartoon Network. I was a babby, and it was a commercial for a Dragon Ball Z movie. I think it was Dead Zone or World Strong. This is the second one, the World's Strongest.
Yeah.
That they were gonna play it like on like Friday, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that or whatever. And I watched that, and I just, I was watching Dragon Ball Z on Toonami like a million years ago, and then eventually, they had like Yu Yu Hakusho on there and a lot of those other sort of like 90s animes, right?
Yeah, though definitely. I think that's one thing. What about you? Where did you start your anime from?
For me personally, I know this will sound a little weird for most people, but surprisingly enough, my very first anime was actually Sailor Moon. I am not going to lie.
Okay.
When I was I think like 3 or 4 years old, my aunt would always babysit me because my mom obviously couldn't do it, and my aunt owned a bridal shop, so she could run the shop, so she was able to take me to the store, this and that. And whenever we would go there, there was always be a TV with a VCR, and all she had for VCR was Sailor Moon.
Gotcha.
So that was the very first one I remember. That was my gateway into anime for me personally.
Not gonna lie, when you said it was a little bit weird, I was expecting something a little bit more weird considering last time around you said your first anime movie was some horror movie on Halloween, which I was just like,
yeah,
how does that work even? It was too funny when it happened last time around. I was like, wait, what? How did this happen then? Where did this come from?
I mean, for me, I only said it's weird because when you're a kid, you're just when you're a boy, you're always grown up to be like, oh, do the boy things, play football, do all these sports, athletics, and then to be able to sit down and watch a show about, teenage girls, empowering themselves and, being bad guys. It's like, that's not something that was technically geared towards boys, but I mean, hey, it worked with me.
I mean, to be fair, Sailor Moon's iconic. I don't think any of us can disagree on that fact. Sailor Moon is one of the best anime out there, in all honesty, in terms of just icon status wise. So no, absolutely fine with that. Stacey, how about you? What was your first anime? Because I don't think I've ever actually asked you this question. So this is actually a good way to start off this podcast as a whole as well. See what everybody's first anime was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was either Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z. I would always come home from school. Sailor Moon would come on first, and then Dragon Ball Z. My brothers, I have 2 older brothers, and they were very much into Dragon Ball Z. And so I remember, watching those 2 religiously. It was one of those. But yeah, Sailor Moon being iconic is a thing. Literally talked about Sailor Moon for a whole hour on my stream last time I streamed. So it's very beloved, and people were saying the manga for Sailor Moon is more dark, and they leave a lot of things out of the anime. So I'm interested in reading the manga for Sailor Moon and seeing what I miss. But yeah, it's either Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon, one of those.
Yeah, the one thing is as well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked too much into it and the details of it, but next year we're supposed to be getting the final Sailor Moon movie, if I'm not mistaken, which is covering the final arc of the manga, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be something interesting as well. We'll probably talk about it on the channel and stuff when it does drop, for sure. So let's talk about anime as a whole now, because, this is one of the more spicier topics that I was thinking of and whatnot. Do you think anime is slowly becoming the most popular form of media with its ever-growing audience? Because right now, anime has no signs of stopping, especially with the growing popularity of shows like Demon Slayer, JJK. AOT is coming to an end, but arguably it kickstarted this resurgence in, anime as a whole. Same with SAO. Truth, what do you think about this line? Do you think anime will become an unbelievable form of media where nothing can touch it, or is it still a ways to go before it can even break into the Western media side of things?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's already super popular, right? It's, when I was growing up, anime wasn't a huge thing, I feel like. Whereas nowadays, it's just a common thing, right? You got all a lot of rappers talking about it and stuff like that, right? Meg Thee Stallion talking, I don't know, it's definitely getting there. I don't know if it's ever going to be bigger than Hollywood movies or something like that, but it's certainly grown exponentially in the last 20 years, right?
Yeah, no, the growth from anime has just been ridiculous if you think about it, right? And funnily enough, I think I was looking at the analytics for some of the reports saying like how has it grown in terms of like monetary wise, how has the industry been. And I think it was something like it's been like even during COVID they were getting more out of it, like they were getting so much money out of the anime industry, which was insane to see considering everything basically shut down in that whole year, right? Barely anything was operating. So to see them still return something positive is insane to see. Stacey, what do you think? Is there a limit, or do you think we're still going and going and going?
I think we're still going. It's still very trendy. I don't know if it's ever going to be the main form of media. I think also like Korean films are also taking the media world by storm. There are lots of interesting trends going on. Like I think a lot of people are watching Korean movies and anime or Korean shows, and like a lot of different things are happening. I'm definitely watching less and less Hollywood stuff, that's for sure. Don't really care about going to the movies anymore to watch movies that seem interesting, or I will only go to the movie theater if there's an anime movie playing that will only be out for a few days or something, like Jujutsu Kaisen or whatever. So yeah, I think it's on the upswing still. I don't see it decreasing anytime soon.
For sure. And I think especially with this whole merger between Crunchyroll and, Funimation and Sony wanting to make anime such a big thing in the West, because recently we've also had reports saying, Crunchyroll is obviously the one releasing or publishing the movie worldwide, outside of Japan, of course, for Dragon Ball Super Hero. They're also doing Makoto Shinkai's Suzume no Tojimari. So maybe, with Crunchyroll being at the at the forefront as with the backing of Sony, Sony being such a big corporation, of course, I think it could happen where, we can see movies for a lot longer in theaters, because this is something we were talking about last time, right? Movies in anime movies specifically don't last very long in theaters, in the US or even in any other country, to be quite honest, that's not, Japan or some Southeast Asian countries, right? So it'll be good to see them lasting in theaters for at least 2-3 weeks, maybe, if not longer, right? Truth, actually, quick question to you. We were talking about this last time round. How often do you miss movies because of their short, time frame? Maybe specifically anime movies, because I know JJK came out recently. We had Demon Slayer as well, Dragon Ball Super Broly, but I think Dragon Ball Super Broly at least had like a week or two to it before it got out of theaters. So have you had any situation where you've not been able to see an anime movie just because it's been too small of a time frame for you to go watch it?
Yeah, I think Resurrection F was one that I had trouble seeing. I don't really see movies much anymore. I haven't seen a movie in theaters since before the pandemic hit, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I haven't seen JJK 0. I saw the Demon Slayer movie, of course. But yeah, I just don't even really go to the movies very often.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Now this is a bit of a mini section that I have, and I want to get everybody's opinion here on this one, because I have a list of shows with like really, really weird titles, and I want to see a yes or no from you guys. So I'm just gonna put out the title. You guys can say the yes or no at the same time or not. All right, so the first one is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
True?
Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? Well,
Is that
what
an
do you mean by
anime?
dungeon?
It's an anime, yes, and a light novel.
Well, okay, well, I guess I
If
no
it's an
jokes for
anime
me.
or
Please continue.
If I don't successfully pick up 420 girls, I am going to die in a lot of different ways.
No.
Wait, is that it? That one? That can't be real.
That is an anime title. Yes, it is. All of
Say
these
it
are
again?
anime titles. If I don't successfully pick up 420 girls, I am going to die in a lot of different ways.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
But would you watch it just based on the title? That's what I'm asking here. Would you watch it? Yes or
No.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, I
not.
would.
I mean,
What?
I've seen some insane titles, right? Like
Yep.
my stepsister is
Yeah.
my wife or my ex or something like there's a lot of craziness. Right?
Yeah, there is one coming out in July. I was planning on adding it here, but I felt like it was a bit too obvious because of the popularity it got on Twitter for the trailer and stuff. But I think it's my stepmom's daughter is my ex or something like that. It's kind of it's basically Domestic Girlfriend V2 basically. Okay, so the next title is The Story in Which I Was Kidnapped by a Young Ladies' School to Be a Sample of the Common People. Yes or
I
no?
hate that.
Yeah, I think I watched that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my god.
I actually watched that.
It's really ridiculous because there's some of these titles. Okay, the next one is very, very, very funny. I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear. Yes or no?
I've seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Oh
You've
my
seen that,
god,
right?
is.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, the fact that Iz watched this makes it too funny. Truth, what would you say to this one?
Could you say that one again? Go ahead.
I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear.
I mean, is it good?
Yeah.
Was it fire?
I mean, depending on what you like, yeah.
I mean, if Iz gives me the recommendation, I might have to check it out if it's fire, right? Like, you never know.
Honestly, half of these
Yeah.
titles sound like they're supposed to be from like a doujin or something, in all honesty. Let's be real. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Now, we'll obviously have this section in future podcasts as well. I wanted to see how these guys would react to some of the more obvious ones. I feel like these are some of the more obvious ones, but I feel like there are some more obscure ones that we can get into in the future. All right. Now, Truth, the one thing I want to ask you, and this is because you're a Demon Slayer fan, right? And obviously we'll see what you guys also have to say, Iz and Stacy. Do you think Demon Slayer is actually carried by its animation, or do you feel the popularity is earned? What do you say
It's
to that?
definitely not carried by the animation because when I was reading the manga, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so like no offense or anything. The manga is not exactly amazingly drawn, right? It's a little. Well, I'm trying to think of the respectful word because I enjoy it so much. But you know what I'm saying,
It's a
right?
bit rough, yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a month like Berserk or something, right? In terms of like art quality, and it's still so good, right? The fights are good in the manga. The emotion carries over through the page.
Yeah.
So no, it's definitely not carried. People say it's carried by animation. That's just people who don't want to like it. I feel like people who don't want to get into it. That's just like a go-to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think the thing is, you have to remember, funnily enough, people act as if like, oh, this is written by some experienced manga writer. But no, if I'm not mistaken, this is Gotoge Sensei's first manga, right? So for somebody who's doing this for the very first time, it's respectable as hell, right? I think she's done one-shots before this. Like, she's done like mini one-shots that have been published by Shueisha in Weekly Shonen Jump. But otherwise, Demon Slayer is her first proper series work, right? So kudos to that in terms of like, yeah, you know, it's something that's really ridiculously popular because of, you know, the storytelling, the simplicity. Because I think the one thing people hate about Demon Slayer is the lack of story. But I think it's a positive where it's simple enough for everybody to get into, because that's the main goal, is like you want everybody to read it, like, and if it's super complex, not everybody's going to read it, right? How do you feel? What do you think? Carried or not?
No. So the thing about Demon Slayer is like, yes, the animation is a little bit rough. Like, we can also agree, you know, Mob Psycho 100, One Punch Man, those are very, very rough in their, you know, in their pictures and their panels. But the thing is, they have a really good story. And the same thing with Demon Slayer. You know, even though like you don't have to necessarily have the greatest, you know, A1 perfection manga in order to captivate a reader. You know, you can have an amazing manga panel, but if the story is not good, the story's not good. You know, that's also a main reason why people love manga. It's just because of the story aspect of it. The manga panels like add the picture, add the motion, yeah, but the storytelling is what helps carry it most of the way. So I don't think Demon Slayer is carried by the animations. It's definitely carried by the story, no doubt.
Stacey, what do you think?
I mean, All I know is I like it, and it must be a decent story if I like it, because I'm all about the story. I usually don't care about animation and art like that, unless it's really crazy. And Demon Slayer's last season was really good when it came to animation, like mind-blowingly good. But I mean, I didn't even notice the story lacking. So when people were like, oh, the story was so lacking, animation carried it, I didn't even notice. So it's like, I guess it's all relative, but to me, I think it's perfectly fine. I enjoyed the last season. I've been enjoying it. I like the movie. Yeah, I think it's on a good track. I like the anime more than the manga. I thought the manga was kind of boo-boo, but the anime I think is much better than the manga to me.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And I know a lot of people who feel the same way as well in terms of that. And I think it's obviously because of like them pacing it out a little bit better, whereas, you know, the manga would end at an abrupt point and restart at a really abrupt point. It can happen that, you know, the anime format is just better as a result of that. It's rare, but it happens, of course, right? Okay, now I have some matchups and I want a reason why you would choose between one or two, right? Truth, this is mainly towards you. So my first matchup for you is Naruto or Sasuke. Which one would you choose and why?
It's just who I like better?
Up to you. Whatever factors you want to decide, go for it. Who would you choose?
I mean, well, Naruto definitely wins at the end. He's stronger because Sasuke is fighting to kill and Naruto holds him off. So Naruto's stronger, right? Very easy, very easy.
Yep.
I would probably say I like Naruto better than Sasuke.
Fair enough.
I'm a Naruto stan.
Any particular reason why? His personality or what's the situation?
I feel like the journey, right? Like it's like where you see him like nothing, and then like after the pain fight when they're throwing him up in the air and stuff like that. Like that's, you know, Sasuke's got some cool stuff, but not like that.
Yeah.
Like, the journey for Naruto is really good.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I will say I prefer about Naruto is the journey for him is just way better handled than Sasuke's is, because Sasuke also has a journey, right? With Itachi and everything and his past, but I feel like Naruto's journey is like that much more credible in my opinion. I don't know, it just feels like it's a lot more credible compared to Sasuke's personally. That's not to say Sasuke didn't have a bad or Sasuke didn't have a good journey, but I'd say Naruto's was better as well. I'd agree with you on that one. All right, the next one is Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan Blue. Which one would you choose? I was gonna choose Ultra Instinct here instead of Super Saiyan Blue, but I knew you would have gone for Ultra Instinct because that's an easy one. So which one would you choose from 4 or Blue?
I mean, I gotta go Super Saiyan 4, right? Like the OG rawness. That's Super Saiyan 4 looks really good. Whereas like Blue just kind of gets like thrashed every time it's used, right?
Yeah.
Like Blue has like never won. They always lose in that. Whereas Super Saiyan 4, they just win every fight, right? So.
No, I agree with you on that one. Listen, anything that backs the agenda, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, now this one is a little bit different because it's two different series entirely. Yusuke, I don't know why I struggled there. Yusuke or Gon from Hunter x Hunter. Which one would you choose?
Oh, dude. Goodbye, Gon.
Yeah.
That's so easy. Come on.
I just wanted to check.
Gon.
I just wanted to check because you never know, man. Some people I feel like put Gon over Yusuke and I'm just there like, what are you on about, guys? Come on now. No, Iz or Stacy, anything you would change there or something in terms of decision or choices? What would you guys say?
No, I agree.
Iz?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything that you said.
Hey, there we go. So
Surprisingly
good
so.
thing we all have the same taste in everything, which is great. This is good. Very, very good. All right, now the next question and topic we should probably talk about, and this is something to do with a movie that's coming out soon, right? We're pretty much like 20 days away from it, less than even, I think, at this point. Dragon Ball Superhero, Truth. We haven't had anything. I know we're still nearly 2 to 3 weeks out, but we've barely had anything regarding the movie. Do you think it's intentional, or is it just that Toei doesn't have faith in the movie at all at this point, and they're just trying to get it out and get it done and over with? What do you think?
I don't know. It's because it's like Dragon Ball is like the biggest anime brand. Like, it seems weird that they would just like fumble a movie after not having an anime for a couple of years. I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Right. The movie comes out in a couple of weeks. Like, is there a big, like, is Cell coming back at the end? Is there some craziness in it? I kind of need to see that first, right? Like, it'll be. I don't like. They had such a mega banger with the Broly movie, right? Like, sales wise, it did good. It looked great. And then they're like, all right, cool. Off to One Piece, all these animators go, right? So
yeah, I mean, One Piece has been doing an absolutely phenomenal job, right? And the thing is, I was even more confused because usually when a show does 3D CGI, they usually do it using other methods. I was surprised to see that they used Unreal Engine for a game engine to animate and work on Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I was so baffled by that. And the thing is, I don't remember truth. You might remember this a little better than me, but if I'm not mistaken, we got the reveal for Gogeta 3 weeks in advance, like a whole month in advance, right? It wasn't like it was close to the movie. It was like way earlier. So the fact that we've not gotten anything with like 2-3 weeks to go is kind of surprising.
Okay. Yeah. It was before the movie's release, but it was after the premiere. I remember that there was a premiere in Japan. It was like on like Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember getting like vague details of, Gogeta is in it. But like people were saying like Super Saiyan God Gogeta was in it.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then, they released like the trailer showing him a couple of weeks later, which was still before the movie. But that's the thing. I think because of the Toei hack and stuff like that, they're not even done with the movie yet, right?
Yeah.
So like there's no premiere. Like I don't know. Like the time frame doesn't sort of like mesh up with when Broly came out. I don't know if Toei, it's just them or they just don't care about Dragon Ball or what. It's hard to say.
Yeah, the thing is as well, because Legends, if I'm not mistaken, the Dragon Ball game Legends on your mobile device, Android and iOS. I don't know why I'm acting as if I'm promoting Legends, but they released Gamma 1 and 2, some of the characters from the movies, 2 of the characters from the movies, right? They don't even have English voices yet. So again, people were saying like, oh, we'll get the Japanese release and English release at the same time. Now we know that's not the case. But seeing them not even being done with the English dubbing was pretty telling to me as to like, they didn't even properly finish it off, or like they were midway through it when the hack happened.
I don't think it's even like voiced yet in Japanese. They only just tweeted out images of Nozawa recording lines recently, right? Like the movie's not even done.
Yeah.
It's right. Like, wait, have they even announced voice actors for Game 1 and 2? Haven't they?
They have. They got.
They finally have. Okay.
I think it was Mamoru Miyano for one of them. I don't remember the other ones.
Well, no. I'm talking about the dub voice actors.
Oh, the dub voice actors. No. I don't think we have the English dub voice actors.
That's
at
what
all.
I'm saying. Yeah, because their voices aren't in Legends. Yeah, they don't even have confirmed voice actors.
Yeah. Right? You're not wrong actually. Yeah, we don't even have English voice actors. I just realized that. Damn. Yeah, no, they're still ways away from it. Yeah, no, man. I didn't even think about that actually, funnily enough. That's another thing as well. Stacey and Niz, Stacey, actually, let's start with you. Your thoughts right now, because, yeah, it's not looking too hot, is it, right now, right?
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why Toei wouldn't care about the Dragon Ball franchise, because it's just like, it's probably one of their biggest money-making franchises. Like, Dragon Ball fans are hardcore and loyal, so I don't understand why they wouldn't care about it or try to make something really good to their they at least owe it to their fans to make something really good, especially since we haven't gotten something in a while. So it's just a little perplexing. It's really weird and confusing, and I don't know, it's not really leaving a great vibe. So I guess all we could do is just wait and see. I just don't understand Toei sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, thankfully we have Talon and Goresh now as well, who will be able to go watch the movie. I hope at least. But we'll only find out what happens then, to be quite honest. What do you think? I mean, especially because, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like we've gotten more One Piece film Red news than we have superhero news, in all honesty, because that's one more thing. We have to remember, One Piece is also dropping a film sometime in I think it's like August or September.
Yeah, One Piece Red, and it's not even canon. Like, One Piece Red is not canon to One Piece.
Yeah, and I feel like we've got more information about that movie than we have even gotten about superheroes. So I don't know if it's just like they're not prepared. They've the movie's not finished, or what's the situation is? What do you say, man?
Okay, cool. I can talk now. So the thing is, like, it sucks, yeah. But I could kind of see why they would, kind of put all their apples in one basket for One Piece, just because, like, of like, everything is going on right now during the Wano arc, especially with Kaido. Those last few episodes of One Piece were just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
the whole entire Wano arc was amazing in general, yeah. But I think because of how Wano is building up to this point, especially with what was been going on with the manga,
Yeah.
like I'm 100% sure the reason why they're focusing more on One Piece is just solely for this fact, to make sure that because that's going to be a very, very big pinnacle point of One Piece. Like, I remember someone saying, if I'm not mistaken, Oda said that I think the Wano arc was going to be the changing point in One Piece, and now that what happened in the manga happened, the anime will definitely hit that pinnacle point in, like, the change, and this will definitely be like one of the biggest things in like all the One Piece arcs since, I believe, the battle on Marineford, like, in my opinion. I think
Wow.
like because of how the battle on Marineford was, that was a whole entire change in like the whole entire dynamic of One Piece. Now that with what's going to happen towards the end of Wano, that's also going to be another huge, giant, pivotal change point. So with the fact that Toei wants to focus more on One Piece as opposed to Dragon Ball, I don't really see it as like something like it's too bad. Although it does suck because then now they're not putting too much resources into Dragon Ball, especially with the movie coming out. But with the show currently on, break, I can still see why they're like, okay, let's just focus on One Piece until we get to this part, and then afterwards we'll, figure out something then. So that's my opinion on it.
That's fair. And speaking of One Piece, actually, Truth, when are you planning on starting One Piece?
Someday.
Hey, I can relate to that someday. I'm starting it someday. Don't worry. I ain't starting it today, but someday for sure.
yeah, not today, but someday.
We'll keep saying someday until we're like 90 years old, basically, and then we'll be like, all right, time to start now. All right. All right. The final one of the final questions I actually have is, you've been reading some manga recently, right? Truth, I mean, JJK has been one we've talked about, Tokyo Revengers. Of course, I know Tokyo Revengers is not doing so well, but is there any show or movie or series or anything of that sort do you think is close to even picking up Demon Slayer's current crown? And if so, which one?
A current series? I don't know. I mean, I enjoy JJK, but I'm not completely caught up. I'm like a year behind in terms of like chapters.
Mhm.
I never felt like as into JJK as I did into Demon Slayer. I think I like the characters a lot more in Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
To me, like the Hashiras, the pillars, were far more interesting than a lot of the sorcerers in JJK, right?
Yeah.
So besides that, I don't know. Like everyone loves One Piece, right? But like, isn't like Shonen Jump like not really in the greatest spot? Like you're not gonna say like Black Clover is.
Hey,
on that
no,
level, right?
I don't think anybody's gonna say Black Clover. Isn't Black Clover supposed to be ending as well? Like, it's in its final
So
arc.
that's on break, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna go into a final arc, right?
Yes. We don't know how long the final arc is gonna be.
Yes.
It could be like one chapter or like 100 chapters, but like we know that the next arc is the final one, basically. Yes, after it's come back from break. I think it's like a 3-month break, he said. And this is one good thing I will say Shonen Jump is doing, or Shueisha is doing now, is that they're letting these guys go on more breaks, which is, in my opinion, much better than when they would run them ragged, basically, and take all their juices away from them, basically, by making them work week in and week out. Because I know that they've given breaks to Black Clover's manga writer. I know last year, I remember Akutami also got a break for a little bit, so at least that's a good thing. But yeah, Black Clover is definitely not one. I mean, what else is there in Shonen Jump right now? I mean, there's no real other big name out there, unless I'm forgetting one. I know there are some that are ending as well, like Mashal and stuff is ending, but yeah, Shonen Jump doesn't have much right now, unless you guys can think of some. Maybe you have any idea?
The only one I could think of would be well, under the Shonen Jump name would be Spy Family, but that's under, I forgot which Jump series it is. It's the 2-week one where it comes out every 2 weeks. I know it's under that Shonen Jump name, but as you know, with the weekly Shonen Jump, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't been really keeping up with that one too much because, to be honest, it's like not much has been coming out that interested me. Once, like, I think I kept up with Shonen Jump when Dr. Stone and Food Wars would be, coming out. But after those like kind of dropped and finished, it's like I haven't been really keeping up besides One Piece.
Yeah, it's not been too hot for Shonen Jump as a whole, in my opinion. I mean, I think it is on Shonen Jump Plus, by the way, Spy Family, that is. But in terms of like weekly Shonen Jump, I can't think of any good ones out there. I mean, MHA is also coming to an end, but I haven't even heard what's been happening in that, to be honest. Otherwise, usually week in, week out. I remember when some of the spoilery stuff was happening in the recent, I think like the chapters last year, it's mid of last year, I think it was. People were just consistently talking about it, right? But I haven't heard a single thing since then, pretty much. I don't think there is anything that's gonna come close to Demon Slayer's crown, Stacey, unless you can think of a show or series that you might be into that can come across, maybe.
No, because I have someone in my Twitch chat who is Japanese who absolutely loves Demon Slayer, and I've just heard from like a bunch of people who live in Japan or are familiar with Japan that Demon Slayer is literally everywhere. Like, it is just taken the world by storm and it's not going away. They are obsessed with Demon Slayer, especially in Japan. So I just think it will have its support. Like, it will just have support everywhere all the time. And no, I don't think anything comes close to it. For some reason, everyone seems to just really love it so much. Even when you go into like Hot Topic or something, you see Demon Slayer like everywhere. I don't know. If you go to like, if you see someone with like a bunch of stickers on their water bottle or something, it have a Demon Slayer symbol or whatever. It's just abnormally popular. Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's actually a question I wanted to ask you, Truth. If you've been in contact with Goresh, actually, what is he saying? Like, what is the most popular thing he's been finding there outside of like Dragon Ball stuff? Maybe what is the thing that's been popping off there?
We haven't really talked about that. I know that he has like a Godzilla statue outside his office.
No way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's on his big Dragon Ball Heroes thing, though. Yeah. The arcade game and getting the card packs and stuff like that. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I've realized is like there's so many like anime arcade games in Japan. Like I know there's the Fate Grand Order arcade game as well. Like it's ridiculous how much they've got there, and especially because you can get it in card format as well. It must be super, super nice to have those in and around. Obviously, it's a big money sink, but I mean, I still can't believe he actually just bought out the whole, like card machine. That's just the way that he did that. But I mean, he did it. He did it right there. But anyways, that's a topic for another channel and other, it's not anime related necessarily. But okay, last thing I want to ask you before we wrap up, Truth. What current anime are you watching, and would you be interested in watching something like Chainsaw Man, because that's the big show that's coming up, right? Are you planning on watching Chainsaw Man, and if not, why?
I do want to check it out. I've heard a lot of people say that it's right up my alley. I'm really gonna enjoy Chainsaw Man, so I do want to check it out, I think.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of current shows, anything you're watching right now?
No. No, the only thing I've watched this year, I think, was the season of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, that was that. Ooh. I keep forgetting that it was this year.
I'm saving myself, Gil, for Dragon Ball Super's return.
I think that's
any day now. It's coming. Any day.
Yeah, sure.
Watch Spy Family. True, Spy Family's good.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, I think I do want to check that out as well.
Yeah,
you should.
I was actually gonna ask you guys. Well, what would you suggest to watch? What would you suggest to Truth to watch? That was such a struggle to get out there. But what would you guys suggest to make him watch?
You should watch Prison School, Truth. You would love it. You need to check it out.
I've seen some clips of that one.
You need to watch all of it. You would love it. I think you would. And dude, I know it's a trek, but One Piece is seriously worth it. Both you and Gail need to start watching it. Like seriously.
I thought I was out of it.
A couple more seasons just came out on Netflix. Like you guys need to. Seriously, it's like the best thing ever. Best fiction piece ever.
Someday.
You need to do it.
Someday. We'll stick with the someday.
Today.
What would you suggest? That's not One Piece.
No, I wasn't gonna suggest One Piece. To be honest, if we're talking about for this season, or just in general, I think Skeleton Knight I would suggest, because that one's actually a pretty fun isekai. Like that's like what's funny is because people are memeing saying that Skeleton Knight is essentially Overlord if he was actually nicer.
Yeah.
So that I would suggest that's like a fun little thing to watch. Either that or stuck in the Otome game, and I forgot the full name of that. Fuck. Well, all I know is like it's just another isekai where a guy is stuck in an Otome game and he's a mob character essentially.
No, that's fair. That's actually a good shout because in my opinion, I think that Skeleton anime. I've watched a couple of the episodes, not a lot of them, but I think that show is really decent as well. In my opinion, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, I think it's really really cool, a really cool show. So that's something even I would suggest. But one thing I want to also ask all of you guys, just generally, this is just to all of you guys as a whole right now. Do you think that if and when Dragon Ball Super returns, do you think it'll still have that same popularity as it did running off of the Tournament of Power? Because I remember when the Tournament of Power came out, it was ridiculous, right? It was like probably the craziest thing, and even websites broke. I still remember Crunchyroll breaking down. I was with a friend when that whole situation happened. I don't know where you guys were at the time, but like at that time it was like nuts. Do you think it'll have the same popularity? And especially with the manga the way it is right now, do you think people will still be attracted to it? Because right now we know the issues with the manga. I mean, truth, you talked a bit about it on the video we had.
Okay,
right?
The manga has got I think story issues, but when they're fighting, it would be just as popular, right? Like the most recent manga chapter would be crashing Crunchyroll and people would be going crazy, right? Like it's Dragon Ball, like the second they put it back on the air, they're gonna say, oh, well, geez, we should have done this sooner, when they're blowing away all their other shows, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, right? Like the one thing I've always found about Dragon Ball, and I don't know how you feel about it, is the problem I've had with modern day Dragon Ball is I feel like they're trying to become too much like other shonens, where they want to try and work with the story, but it just doesn't necessarily pan out the way they want it to, because Dragon Ball's never fit that mold, right? It's always been more action, and there has been story in it. Don't get me wrong. I think, the whole character arc for like Gohan is really good and everything, but it's not to say that it's like some sort of like amazing storytelling, right? And them trying to do all of this can feel a little bit detrimental. What would you say to that? Do you think that maybe they should probably stick to their roots more so and stick to what they had in the past, or should they try and still focus on, becoming like a modern day shonen? What do you say to that, Truth?
Dude, literally all that matters is you just get those fights looking pretty. That's it. That's all it takes.
As long as the action's good, that's enough for me.
Yeah, don't focus so much on all this BS, man. Just Goku shows up on Earth, goes Ultra Instinct, make that look pretty. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's very, very true in that regards, for sure. Stacey and Inez, what would you guys say? And anything you would want from Super when it comes back, or what do you think would be the hype for Super when it comes back, if it does come back? Copium, effectively at this point, but yes.
I think it will be perfectly fine. Dragon Ball fans are super, super loyal. I think there's not going to be an issue at all.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think it's just like if they, as long as like like what Truth says, as long as like the animation of the fights are good, I think it'll be fine. Like regardless, because again, Dragon Ball fans are Dragon Ball fans. At the end of the day, they'll eat anything up at this point. Let's be real here.
Yeah, for sure on that. All right, now the last thing to wrap it up, because I just thought of this actually. Live action shows. We are getting more and more live action shows, right? We know the One Piece one is coming up, but there's one more that's coming up that I actually hadn't heard about until, you know, the whole debacle of, you know, Cowboy Bebop happened. Yu Yu Hakusho, would you watch it? Truth. All of y'all, actually. This is to everybody, but let's start with the Truth.
I have it on DVD.
Wait, the live action?
Oh, wow. Oh, live action.
Oh, wait, you said live action
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah, it's coming next year, I think, or at the end of this year.
Yeah.
You said, where am I going to watch it?
No, are you going to watch it? Just are you going to watch it or not?
Live action Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't heard of that.
Me either. I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, it's
Are you sure, Gil?
I'm very sure. It's coming on
100%
Netflix.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Netflix, huh?
Yeah, it's
I'm
coming
sure it'll
out
be good.
after. It's coming out after One Piece does theirs.
Hell no.
If I'm not mistaken.
Hell no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I've just checked it. It's coming out in December 2023. So we've still, it's pretty much 2 years away, basically. But yes, it's coming in 2023.
It'll probably be better than the One Piece live action, but still, no. We can't support these live action anime. No. Get rid of them. We don't want them. We don't. When is there one good live action?
Rurouni
Rurouni Kenshin? Yeah, that's the only one anyone can ever say.
Death Note.
Yeah, that's the only good live
I-
action, to be honest. I mean, there are some really good slice of life
Definitely.
live actions as well.
Well, those are easy. Those are
yeah.
easy to adapt.
I was gonna say they're very easy to adapt, and they're probably the best to adapt anyways, in my opinion. Otherwise, I mean, we know the mess that's Dragon Ball Evolution, Ghost in the Shell. I mean, the Death Note one is just funny, to be quite honest, more than anything else. But
They had
that's
a JoJo one. There's like a Part 4 JoJo live action. There's the Bleach live action. Dude, hell no. I can't do it anymore. Like, it's just not it. It's not it. They need to leave it where it is. One Piece needs to stay where it is. We don't need a live action. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho needs to stay where it is. We don't need a live action. We just don't. It's just annoying how Netflix keeps like making these. It's a reason why they were animes in the first place. Like, don't mess with them. It's just kind of annoying at this point.
for sure. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Truth. I think we're good to wrap up here, unless you guys have any questions actually to Truth, Stacey or Iz.
Nope.
Stacey?
Not for me. No,
Alright.
I'm good.
But anyways, thank you so much, Truth, for joining us on this one. Of course, we greatly appreciate you hanging out and chatting some
We
anime
need
with
Dragon
us.
Ball Super back, Gale. ASAP. I need it back now. Right now.
I listen. We're getting it next month, all right? Not in the way we want it to be, but we're getting it next month, all right? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this as well, or listening in on, if you're listening to this on Spotify and stuff. This will be a premiere on YouTube, but I mean, by the time this is wrapped up, you would have already realized it's a premiere. But we will be premiering this podcast every week, or every other week, I should say, every 2 weeks. And we will be bringing on more and more guests from the 5-9 group as a whole, and hopefully more people from outside of 5-9 as well, as we continue to do these podcasts as well. Thank you so much to my co-panelists, Stacey and Iz, for hanging out as well, and chatting with Truth as well. We greatly appreciate all of y'all for watching this podcast, and we will see y'all next time around. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.